DESIblitz.com.
I was always a bad one. I got caught stealing and robbing when I was a schooling. My parents knew that. He's only good at art anyway. He's not good at sciences. He's not going to be a dentist. He's not going to be a doctor. When you're in a position like me, you got to wait for people to come to me. Who's going to come around me? Who's going to talk to me? And when that group accepts you, you take it. You don't say no to them because nobody else is accepting you. These gangsters in the area in Newcastle, they approached me. Because I was selling what I was selling, it was right in the middle of the drug scene. So that's how I started to deal into crime. I had to do the criminal credit card fraud, but my dad gave me a licking and all that, yeah. But it didn't really teach me a lesson. Just smash the windows of our van just for no reason. And I would just get them and just drag them back into the shop. Give them an offer of, I call the police, or you can come in the backyard with me and my dog. I had an American Akita. He was badass. To this day, I still, if I see any of them, like if I see one now, I would get out of this fucking car and go and pull him around that fucking corner.
Okay, Chet, so could you tell us a little bit about your early life in Newcastle and what were the influences and challenges that you faced growing up here?
Right. But the early life, is when we moved up to Washington first, which is next to Newcastle, It was hard work, It was just at the end of my schooling. My dad bought a shop up here. We did have a shop in Huddersfield. But the shops up here were better, less competition, more scope for money to be made. Bigger opportunities for my old man, really. For me, not so much, because you just see me as like a member of staff. That's a social club, That's the social club, which is Catholic. So that's where they all go, and it's cheap in there, and that's big in there. That's huge. This is used to be a hairdresser, still is. That used to be a paper shop, now it's a bathroom kitchen shop. That pizza shop used to be a fish and chip shop, and that was our shop in the end.
So that Premier...
That's our shop in the end, and you can see through there the other bar, the Duke of Albany. It's just right next to it, right next door. Right. There's graffiti on the wall, I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other boozer. So there's that boozer, and that boozer used to close on a Saturday, well every day, at 3 o'clock. The Saturdays were notorious. It was like a nightmare, a shock to the system. Didn't expect any of this would happen. Didn't really experience this racism at that high level. In Huddersfield, elsewhere where we lived, there was more Asians and black people there. So it wasn't that. So it was okay. You did get still the skinheads walking around the streets, 70s on a town centre, blah, 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 just how they used to do with the Crombies and the Doc Martens. But racism, that was like racism in your face. Okay, they had that here as well. But here it was on a higher level. They were more staunch. They were more up for the job. Probably for the fact was because there wasn't that many blacks and Asians here to fight back. So they had it easy here. It was just all one-way traffic. And that's how I found it. They had 2 full-time staff, 7 part-time, and me, my dad, we came to work, so really we sacked them all, and we kept 1 full-time on and 2 part-time staff on, and so we got rid of the rest. So this is 1984, and these people around here, they didn't like that we've come here, that we've sacked white people, their people who work here, and we're Asian, we've come over. It's like they're saying what they love to say, you've come here and taken our jobs. But really, we bought the shop, we bought the shop, we want to make a living here. The only way to make a living here is not by paying staff wages. So we had to get rid of the staff because their staff wages had to become our wages. So that was our ethics on it, but these people don't like that.
What you're saying is reducing the amount you're paying out to labour. You're still paying them a wage.
Right. No, because they had 2 full-time members on and 7 part-time members of staff. So their wage bill was quite big.
Yeah.
So what we did was get rid of the one full-time member and just kept the manager rest on, and we got rid of 5 part-time members. Because me and my father were going to do the work, you know, so we don't need the staff there, do we?
That's when you bought the shop originally.
That's when we bought this one, yeah. So that's when we had to cut down all the staff because they were paying far too much in staff wages. And so
that created a lot of
hate against us, yeah, because we've come into this area and we've took, so this and all, you're taking our jobs. We're not taking your jobs, yeah. We bought the shop. Yeah, we bought the fucking shop, you know, it's ours. It belongs to us. You live in council rented accommodation, so why don't you go back there and sit there and wait till your benefits come on a Thursday? You know, we're here to make a living. We've come here to provide a service, a good service, a 7 days a week service. And so show us a bit of
respect.
Yes, for that, you know, because you guys were putting the work in. The shop was scruffy, it was dirty. They had a big butcher section, frozen meat, loads of it. There was fresh meat. There was a butcher employed also, so we sacked the butcher too. So I became the butcher. So I had to cut the meat and do all that.
Oh, so you had a butcher in there as well?
Yes, there was a butcher employed there.
How old were you when you first came here, and what were some of the influences that you kind of got into?
Well, when I came here first, I was 15, right at the end of my schooling. My dad was taking the shop on. So my influences at that time, music really, yeah. I used to listen to, that was the beginning of house music. That's when it first sort of originated. And so that was my escapism really, yeah. I wasn't allowed out. I was just, did have no friends there, nothing, no life, no zero, just a shop, work, come home, cook, clean, shop again. Music I used to listen to. House music back then, rap music, because it just started to come about then. Rakim, I used to listen to Marshall Jefferson,
NWA.
New Order. These were the things that I was into. The Smiths. This was the music I was into back then. Yeah.
And you had no family here either?
No, there was no family here. Family members did come up afterwards to buy shops as well. But we were like the sort of test, you know, testing the water, as it were. So they let us come up here first. And once our shop worked, because we didn't tell all the rest of them, yeah, that we were getting shit on a daily basis, yeah. Because my dad is like a proud man, yeah. He doesn't want to tell all the rest, yes, we have a shop, but we take shit on a daily basis. No, he was saying, yeah, we're making money, it's all right. So the rest of them, all right, okay, we'll get shops there as well. So they asked my dad to look for shops around the area, which there was loads for sale then. So it was a slow influx that came up. Asians, my relatives, Washington, the area, what I took you around, my massies, my masters, my uncles, we own 7 shops in this town. We own, so we own half of the village. So it was just me, my mom, family members. So we took over this area, and so they all know who we are now. But back then, it wasn't like that. We were just who we were, just brown faces on the till.
With all that hate that was created,
Yeah.
I guess this is where some of the scuffles and some of the fights would have happened outside.
Yes.
Outside and inside the shop as well.
Yes. This is where it all happened, at the front, where shoplifters used to come, steal stuff. And back then the law was you have to wait till they leave the premises, yeah? And then it's theft. Because they can stick it in their pockets, yeah, and walk around your shop and it's still not theft. Because they haven't walked out your shop with it. So we had to wait. But our till was right next to the door anyway. And so when my mum used to tell me he's stolen something, and I would just abnormal. Serve them, and then when they would leave out the door, and I would just get them and just rag them back into the shop. Rag them back in and give them an offer of whether either to, I call the police, or you can come in the backyard with me and my dog. I had an American Akita. He was badass. He was a yard dog. He wasn't used to people, didn't like people. So a lot of the people would take the deal of going into the backyard because they knew they're going to go to the cells, they're going to go to court. They went, okay, just take me to the backyard. So the backyard, I used to take me to the backyard. I just used to have to like start on him a little push, and then the dog would just do the rest. The dog would just be on him, and then I would just pull the dog off. Yeah, and then that would be that. And I went, right now, fuck off. And there was a back gate. I just threw him out the back gate.
Did you ever get in trouble for any of that with the dog?
For the dog, no. They never went to the police. No, because they were happy to do that rather than take the theft charges on. So when my dad took the days off on the Saturday, it was just me. And so I dealt with it, I dealt with it the best I could. And I remember the fucking faces of them all, yeah? I remember them, the ones that used to come in, the ones that used to say, when they used to have a bottle of vodka down their pants and just pay for a fucking 20 pence mince pie. I used to say, what about the bottle of vodka? And they'll say, what? Do you want me to come around that counter and jump all over your blackhead? Because that's what I fucking do. And the other people in the queue would just sort of laugh and agree, Not many people would stick up for me and say, oh, don't do that. Oh, no, that's not right. Because now they would, because now I think if that happened in a shop, some people would speak up, yeah? But then, zero. Back then, they would either go along with the person giving me the abuse or not say nothing. I had this, we had a kosh there. But never used that. We had a shovel there, which I did use once, when my dad got attacked, or 4 of them. That was a load of shite. They just come in, these lads, they just give us a hard time. Just smash the windows of our van, just for no reason. Smash it fucking every other day. Every other day you go out and the screen smashed to your fucking van, bam. That was just constant, Told the police to do fuck all about it. So he used to come in and they'd bring his little stupid mates with him once they had a drink. And then they started a fight with my dad. 3 of them says this set upon him. So I joined in the attack with the shovel I had. I got that and I hit them with a shovel. One of them, my mum was there. She pushed them out the door. And then we had them out the door at the front here. My dad was there, I was there, my mum was there. It's embarrassing, yeah, for these idiots to come and fight with us, yeah? And 4 of them as well. And so we were stood out here, and then there was other kids here. And so we took them to court. We thought, right, this is all good, because we just got attacked here, yeah? But what they did, because they knew these other guys, they told them, right, what you say in court is like me, my mum or dad attacked them first. We attacked them first, and they did what they did in self-defense. My dad had to go to hospital, stitches in his eyes, this, that. He was pretty well matched up, yeah. He got fucked up, and then we went to court, and they got nothing. They walked, because they all stick up for each other. Then, yeah. This was the mentality then. They're all bastards, the majority of them. And to this day, I still try and track these motherfuckers down. If I see any of them, now I'm really getting angry about it, because it's bringing it all back at me. If I see one now, I would get out of this fucking car and go and pull him around that fucking corner. Yeah, that's how I feel it. That's what I feel when I see this fucking shop and see the front of it. I did my schooling there, Huddersfield. My birthday is the 31st of August. So I was the youngest in my class.
Right.
Yeah, the youngest in my class. I didn't really finish my exams off neither. Right. Because my dad had the shop. So he took me out. So I didn't get a chance for any education.
He took you out of school?
Yeah, he took me out of school to stick me in the shop. Yeah.
How old was you when he took you out of school?
15 when I killed there.
Okay. So no college, no nothing?
No. And then I used to sign on the door as well. Back then you could, I used to work in a shop every day and claim benefits. But that was the norm then, yeah? That was the norm. That's what my dad told me how to do.
Right.
Yeah, he told me how to do that. He says, you got to go, sign on, And I used to go sign on, yeah, and customers in the shop used to be there as well. But I did never get grassed though. They could have grassed me, but they're not. But they didn't do that. I never got grassed. And I did that for a few years.
So how from that, which is an upstanding, traditional kind of desi thing to do, buy a shop, start a business, look after your friends and family, and progress from there. How did you get involved into the criminal world, and when was that?
Well, the criminal world, that started, I wanted out of that shop, yeah. That shop, I thought, okay, it's making money, but it's not for me. I'm 21 now. So I wanted to open up my own shop, clothes shop. I wanted something different. Retail, yes, but different. I don't want to deal with these lot, yeah. These drunken crackheads that are coming in, pisshead. I don't want them people, yeah. I want to deal with the better people in life here, because I'm sure there is. So my idea was to get a clothes shop in Newcastle, which I did at 21. My dad, he gave me the money to start that off, because I did work for him from being 13 till 21 every day, and I didn't get a wage, It's how we are, you just work in it, and then expect something at the end.
Normal disease, the tradition.
So this is how I did it, And so he says, okay, he set me up with my shop. That shop was working at first. They got mentions in Vogue magazine, Elle magazine, but I was a bit ahead of my time for Newcastle. I was dealing in high fashion, clubwear. People were then, the rave scene was good, so people were just coming in, just buying an outfit just for that weekend. Drug money, there was a lot of people. There was people, but it was a bit of ahead of its time for Newcastle at that time. This was the early 90s. And so the only way, anyway, the shop was doing okay, but not making money. So these other people, these gangsters in the area in Newcastle, they approached me. They came to my shop, I had a look, this and that, said, we can get you credit cards, freshly stolen, and you just run them through the PDQ machines. Because back in the day, it was just that box thing, boom, you put the card in, you just bam, clear it, bam, so you can smash the cards in then. So that's how I kept the shop afloat, by credit card fraud. I would take freshly stolen cards, bag snatchers, they would come to my shop. I would put it through the PDQ for 300 quid, for instance, and tell them they can have £150 worth of clothing. But that £150 worth of clothing cost me about £60, £70. So I was making okay money on that. So that's how I started to deal into crime. This was my initial thing, but it was just to keep my shop afloat, because I didn't want to open that shop and see myself fail. Yeah, because I wanted to do something new. I didn't want to be an off license. I wanted a new angle, but the new angle didn't really work out. It wasn't working out. So I had to do the credit card fraud to subsidize the shop and my earnings.
Were these white guys that found you and said, right, they just approached you out of the blue and just said, can you start doing this? Who were these guys, and
yes,
what made them come to you?
Right, these people were gangster families in the town. Because I was selling what I was selling, it was right in the middle of the drug scene. People approached me to sell tickets for rave venues. I sold tickets for the Ministry of Sound, for Cream in Liverpool, Soak in Leeds, for the Hacienda in Manchester, Tunnel, Glasgow. I was their main dealer for all these raves, and I used to organise the coaches as well. So you could come and buy a ticket for the rave, and plus you can get a coach ticket. So these people knew that, okay, this is his thing. He goes to all these clubs. And so drug dealers then befriended me as well. They said, okay, right, we can sell the drugs on your coaches and that. Everything's cool. We can all make a bit of money. So that's how it all sort of happened. It was through the drug culture in the 90s. And that's how these other gangsters knew who I was. And they approached me through my other guys who used to sell the drugs on the coaches. And they said, yeah, he's cool to approach.
Growing up as a British Asian in Newcastle, obviously very few British Asians in Newcastle, especially at that time. What expectations did your family and do you think the community have of someone like yourself?
What expectations they had of me?
Yeah.
Personally, none. None. I had a stutter. I was always a bad one. I got caught stealing and robbing when I was at school in Huddersfield. I was involved with a Muslim gang. They never went to school. They used to have a curry shop, what was open 24/7. I used to go there until about 9 o'clock, and then I used to have to go home. But that was when I was 12, 13. But they were into stealing, theft, and I got involved with them. So my dad just thought, okay, he's just getting involved with all these people here. Get him out of here as well, So the shop as well, it all like coincided, hand in hand sort of thing, to get me out of there. The expectations were for me to just stand on the till, basically, and stack the shelves. There was nothing else.
So one of the reasons why you came from Huddersfield to Newcastle was to basically get you out of that life where you got in with the wrong crowd there and to start afresh here.
Yes, that was the idea, yeah.
But your main job here would have been to just work behind a till in the corner shop, and you had bigger visions.
Yes, well, yes. I didn't really see that as an end for me in my life, because I hadn't seen anything yet. I wasn't even allowed out. I had no friends. I didn't do nothing. The first time I kissed a girl, I was 21, and I married her as well. So that was my life, strict.
Strict Desi upbringing then.
Strict.
Very, very strict Desi upbringing. You wasn't allowed to go out at night and chill with your friends.
No, none of that.
Shop,
just work.
home, work.
Yeah.
Do you think that your upbringing in Huddersfield shaped what you did here then when you came here? You'd already sort of gone into some of that criminality. Yeah.
Yes. Well, when I came up here at 15, I didn't do any crime until I was about 23. So I would say no to that, because that wasn't the way I was brought up. I was an artist. That was the only thing I was good at school. Art. I wasn't really good at anything else. And so that was that, My parents knew that. He's only good at art anyway. He's not good at sciences. He's not going to be a dentist. He's not going to be a doctor. He's not going to be any of them things. All he can do is paint and draw. So, which counts for a note. So sticking behind the till, innit,
Yeah. And you mentioned the stuttering. I guess that was from childhood, right? All the way up. And did you get bullied for that at school?
Yes. The stuttering, that was like major back in the day when I was younger. It was really bad. Punjabi was the only language I knew until I was 5. I didn't learn to speak English because we weren't allowed to mix with any English people. It was just the people in our house where my mum and dad were living with their uncles and the other kids and the auntie, their family. So there was loads of us in the house. Punjabi was the only language that was spoken, English not. And the stutter I had on top of that, I couldn't speak English, and the stutter on top, so I couldn't even say my own name. It was proper hard work at first. Confidence was like minimal. It was all hard work. It's all I can remember of that, of me being young.
And bullying would have started from that age?
Yeah, from when I went to school, because I couldn't talk. They all see me as a bit backward. And they put me in like a backward school for 2 years, where people are slow in learning and this and that, because I couldn't talk. So they took me in with them kids, but them kids were cool, because there was black and browns in there. They all had something wrong with them, and there I felt okay with that lot. It was only when they put me into mainstream school with all the white kids, that's where I didn't like it. That's where it all turned. That's where they started to take the piss out of me, and I hated that. And the only people who were my friends were these guys who I told you about, the Muslim boys who I got mates with. His family, 4 brothers he had, and I used to mix with them. And they didn't mind me and my stutter and this and that. They were cool. So I just took, because like you can't choose your friends, yeah? You can't choose them. They have to choose you. They have to choose you. Like people say you can do this, you can do that. No, you can't. No, you can't. When you're in a position like me, yeah, you got to wait for people to come to me. Who's going to come around me? Who's going to talk to me? You know? I can't go and talk to that lot. I can't go and talk to that crowd because they would take the piss out of me. They'll say, why are you here for? Why are you coming near us? So you just got to sit, you just got to stand and wait to be accepted by a certain group. And when that group accepts you, you take it. You don't say no to them because nobody else is accepting you. This was the first house here. It's just number 13 it was, yeah. Unlucky for some, yeah. It's further down. All these would be smart. It was there, that end house there. That was our first house here.
This one?
That one there, yeah. Number 13.
Number 13, right.
Yeah, that's our first house here. Lived there for about 3 years.
Still looks the same?
Yes, from outside, yeah. That hasn't changed. That was my bedroom there, top right hand corner. Yep, that's where fucking all the pain was. House of pain.
Did you ever used to get your window smashed up here?
They tried to burn the house down here twice, yeah. They put paper through the letterbox, newspaper, lit it, but it didn't catch a light.
Didn't light.
It didn't light. Well, it was just like a warning, but they didn't do a proper job on it. You know, they didn't put the petrol through. They just lit paper and put newspaper through the letterbox.
And I guess in those days you wasn't as big and as bulky, and you know, you was very different. Or
No.
describe what you was like.
Yeah, back then I was small for my age. My sister is a year younger than me, and she was about 3 inches taller than me. So I was like small for my age, you know. And people used to take the piss out of me for that I'm older than my sister, but she's taller than me. The stutter I had, I was small, I never used to eat. The food was terrible. It was like we had to walk to school, which was about 1.5 miles. And then on a dinner time, I'd walk back home again. And my mum and dad would be at work, and there'd be roti there with dal, yeah, cold. Okay, so we had to eat that and then go walk back to school. And that was it, yeah. But I never used to eat that food. I never used to eat it. I used to just stick it down the bin and tell my mum that I did eat it, or I'd give it to the birds. I used to give it to the birds and said I'd eaten it, but I haven't eaten it.
You just didn't like the desi food?
I just didn't like it. It's just not on the cold. Like when it's cold, you got to walk from school and it's roti and dal and it's cold, and you're only a kid and you don't heat it up. You got to like just have it cold and then walk back to school again. Nah, it was shit.
Now the restaurants are all about desi food. It's the number one dish in this country, right?
Yes, yeah.
Curry.
Yeah.
How things have changed. In desi culture, you know, there's always a strong emphasis on honor, on reputation. You know, nobody wants their family to have a bad rep out there. Mm-hmm. It gets about and your cousins start finding out and blah, blah, blah. So how did your family react when they found out that you was actually involved in, you know, the criminal world, and did that affect you in any way?
Well, how did they react?
Yeah. When did they first find out, and how did they
Well,
react?
when they first found out is when I was stealing in Huddersfield as a kid when I got caught. Because we did raid, we just used to like shoplift, and then we escalated it to doing, we robbed the school once. We stole the videos, the television recorders, got caught on that one. We did arcade machines. Used to go in with them, crowbar, open them up and take all the 10 pences out. So that was a level of crime. But I got caught for these things, but my dad gave me a licking and all them, yeah. He gave me the belt, yeah. He fucked me up, but it didn't really teach me a lesson. I just thought, okay, it's a licking's a licking, you know. I can take the lickings. And but they just thought, right, okay, why is he stealing? Why is he stealing? Why is he doing this? But maybe I was doing all this because my old man never used to give me any fucking money, you know? Maybe if you give me a wage for standing on the till, and when the other kids are buying stuff out the shop, I want to go and buy something, you know? Yeah, I don't want to stand there with no dollar in my pocket. No. So I wanted my own money. So what I did as well, when we had my shop in Huddersfield to make my own money, I used to overcharge the customers by 10 pence, 20 pence, little. But it used to add up. And as a child in the 80s, getting 10 to 15 pound in a week is a lot of money. And that's just by overcharging. So then I liked the overcharging bit, and I had notes. All the other kids just had coins. I had notes on me. So I like that feeling of the notes. And I never used to like to spend a note. I used to like to keep it, yeah? Because once I break into that note, I broke into it. I wanted to like have more notes. So that was my ethic, yeah? I want to keep the notes and just spend the change. So that was my ethic, yeah, of making money.
So did you used to walk around with a big wad of notes on you? Because you had all the notes?
No, I didn't. I hid them because then I used to want to train, yeah? So I had like a weight set, plastic weights, yeah? They're filled with, I don't know what they're filled with, but I had like a barbell, dumbbells, but the barbell are hollow, yeah? So I used to get the notes and stick them in the barbell when I was training to hide them, yeah, from anybody. So I used to stick them in there, boom, 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 and then put the cap back on. So the barbell was filled with money. Yeah, so that was my storing place. So that relationship went on, and then she felt pregnant. That's when I started to do the steroids as well. I was bringing the steroids in, and I've never seen my children then since 1999. He's looking at all 8 of us. I'm the one who's brown. They went, "You, I'll fight you." This is like, just see me. Which one do I hate the most out of these 8? And it's me. And it was always me. Equality in fucking what? There's nothing fucking equal. There's nothing equal anyway. We cracked open the petrol caps, got the rags, dosed them, put it. He lit one, I lit one. Bam, we ran. The cars exploded. The explosion was that much, it set the house on fire. I was working with the drug barons who had control of that area. They are Taliban linked. He says, I have the whole spectrum of pharmaceutical drugs. They said, Sandhu, your cases are here, and but we will tell you that if you do come to collect them, you will get arrested. But he knew in Karachi, you can't get women and you can't get alcohol. So these are 2 things you cannot get there, but when I'm there, they're available.
DESIblitz.com